now I'm going to go ahead and begin. And actually, Kaylee, can you open us up in prayer?
Oh, sure. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you that we're able to come together, Lord, and use this technology to talk about you, God, and how we can best serve the children in our church, Lord. We pray for guidance for our pastors and for our leadership as we go into this new time, God, and that hopefully we can open up safely and just bring the word to our little ones, God. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, wonderful. So I'm going to kind of go through all the policies and all the details of our reopening the children stuff. At one point, I'm going to show you an app, the Kids Check app on my phone. Then I've got to disable my virtual background, I guess, to do it. So, because I've got Ron's office from Parks and Rec as my background now. So, first off, to kind of give you guys an idea of locations, and this is a lot less simple than it originally was intended to be. So for the first Sunday at least, we're going to do it this way, but I'll explain what we're probably going to do for a little while after that. So for K1-2, we will be in the Stone Chapel. They will be in the Stone Chapel. They'll really be the only ones using the Stone Chapel on Sundays. I mean, it'll be clean. I'll actually make sure it's clean after the Wednesday that youth group is in there and everything. So, and I have chairs spread out 6 feet apart. Although I have some for like siblings. So Grace, since you'll be a teacher in there, like siblings obviously can sit together. I don't care about that. But you know, there are some groups. I don't want to change the seating setup between Wednesday and Sunday too much. So you know, so if there's plenty of seats. So just make sure you know that people aren't joining and sitting together that aren't related in that way. And in that, we'll talk about the mask in a little bit, but we've got plenty of room to spread out in there. You know, even some room, you know, you can have some engagement, and that's really our biggest room that we can have for that kind of purpose. And then 3s and 4s, we're going to have in that older elementary classroom. So that is the 4th, 5th grade room. / 3rd grade room, because you can open that up to make into one gigantic room. And so for that, I'm going to move some of the toys into the 3s and 4s room that are relevant. And tomorrow I'm going to move the table from the 3s and 4s room into that room so that they have that. But I'm going to spread out the chairs and everything because, you know, COVID's spreading out. And then nursery. The first Sunday for sure, we're going to have the nursery in the nursery. Emily, can you still hear us? Because we're seeing your ceiling. Awesome. So, and for that, we're going to have one combined nursery when we have it. And for the reason why we're going to have for sure just have it then is eventually, if we have enough nursery age kids, we'll keep having that in the nursery. But right now, we're very low on volunteers, 1. And 2, the only baby that I know right now is coming back. I've talked to all the parents with babies that I know is coming back just yet, not the name. So an unnamed baby will be in there. Just not comfortable having a child's name on the video. But so we're going to, what I'm probably going to do after the first week, and I want to have a full staff for the first week just in case, you know, we get shocked and a lot of people come that said that they're not or something like that. And I'm preaching that week, so I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be caught off guard in that way. But after that, until we get more babies, what I'll probably do is I'll probably set up a playpen in the 3rd grade side of that big classroom. And so kind of like the extreme end, and we will have when we do that, we would have 1 adult volunteer with the 3s and 4s, and 1 adult volunteer with the baby. Again, they'd all be able to see one another, and for the 2 adult rule, and then have 1 teen that's kind of an assistant to the 3s and 4s. But that is until we get, so I don't know how long that would be that we do that. It would be just basically until we have more of the babies. And because the reason why too is that like, you know, there's some families that have communicated that they're not ready to have their baby in there yet, but once they are ready, they will volunteer. And so to some degree, when we have more babies, the issue is going to resolve itself by having more volunteers. Does that make sense, guys? Mm-hmm. Do you have any concerns on the locations?
When you said you want the first week to be full staff, does that mean you have put me on that first week, the 13th?
I think I've got you on week 1. So, but I'll send that out to you tomorrow. So,
Okay.
but I think I've got you on week 1. So I've got. I'm working. I've wanted to email people the schedule as early as I could, but it has been extremely hard to find any volunteers at all. And so, there's no point in me emailing you a schedule that's a third of the way full and then sending you an email, so I'll send you guys what I have out. Grace, I think I've got you on your normal Sunday, so I think it's, it's normal for you.
With the Lisas and Mary Beth and
Yeah.
yeah. So there's at least 3 other people besides me here that aren't on this video. Though.
Yeah, I know. And again, they'll get the video of this and the notes emailed to them. So I just have to figure out how to work the video because I've never done a video from recording on this. So anyway, but yeah, so that's kind of how we'll work that. And oh, by the way, just so you know, Grace, then though, because you'd mentioned with the Lisas, Craig and Terry wanted to work it out so they were on different weeks. And so
I heard that because we had a bunch of emails back and forth.
Okay.
And
yeah, I think I was CC'd.
I do not care.
Okay, cool, awesome. So now to the kind of the harder part of things is COVID requirements. Per the recommendations from the CDC, the government, among other things, even our insurance companies, for all children's ministry activities, we're going to have to keep 6 feet spacing between children, and so I understand that things will get tricky in the nursery because, nursery kids don't understand how that works. I understand 3s and 4s will need to be educated clearly on this. I also know that some people don't agree with this, but we have to follow what our insurance requires and what the government is asking us to do. And so so for that purpose, I'm actually going to I'm going to put up the K12. I'm just going to use the chairs that I've set up, and the 3s and 4s. I will probably give you guys an idea of where 6 feet is by just kind of making marks along the floor with tape. So just stuff that can be pulled up easily. And eventually I'll do that with the nursery. But again, there's literally no reason to do that with one child because a child can't be 6 feet apart from themselves, right? So, and then another thing we're going to do every Sunday is all children that are in the child care will have to have their temperature checked with a temperature gun. So Miss Judy had ordered some of those for us, and I will be the one primarily doing that. Eventually, if anybody knows somebody that might be interested in volunteering for the first 15 minutes of the service time, or I'd be happy to have somebody that can kind of rotate with me. Especially if this ends up having to be 6 months of this, it would be nice to have somebody that can do it when I'm on vacation, of course. So in November. And so yeah, and when I do that, I'll just I actually have to be fairly close. I have to be within 10 centimeters, I think it is, of the child's forehead, and I kind of scan it. For that, we're going to talk about a mask, but it's extremely important that the child has a mask on for the temperature check part. And so I will do that. And if it's over 100 degrees, for those, because they're a little bit less sensitive, we will encourage you guys to stay home. I mean, I know that parents know when their kids have a fever, when their kids are running temperature, but it's just kind of one of those things we have to do. I highly anticipate nobody's going to be, nobody's going to take their kids in knowing that they have a fever or anything, but we will be doing that each week. So also,
I can ask Patrick if he'd be willing to do the temperature check with you.
That'd be great. So it'd be great to have somebody else that can help with that. So, and anyway, and then so next we're going to ask that everyone to sign up in advance. Originally we were going to say just sign up in advance for your kids in the nursery, but actually Andy is able to work it out. So when you register an Eventbrite, that you can get tickets specific, you can specify under your tickets the age of your kid and whether they'll be in childcare. So it'll be like a drop down from what I understand that he's working on. And so I do want to encourage all parents and to make sure that they sign up as early as they can on Eventbrite when the tickets for church comes up, so that we can have an awareness, so we're not really shocked by that. So, and in fact, I'll actually even go as far as saying that we really need you to sign up by Friday night, because I just can't be swamped by kids. That we actually have to limit the amount of kids in some classrooms. I don't anticipate we're going to hit that limit anytime soon, but I can't be surprised by somebody bringing in one of your kids brings in 15 friends on a Sunday, and I don't know about
Good luck to you, Tony, on that one. Good luck.
Yeah.
I can tell you, until these last 2 Sundays when I've not been able to be there, we have half the people sign up on Saturdays and Sunday mornings.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we'll try to push it. So, an unpopular one for parents, but popular one for volunteers will be parents have to do the diaper changes. And so how we're going to work that is there's going to continue to be the radios. There's radios in the classrooms. And for Heather, I'll explain it's simply just dial on the radio and and reach out to me through that, and I would grab the parent to change a diaper. And that's just because it's impossible to social distance when you're changing a diaper for obvious reasons. So. And that eventually we'd like to get rid of that, but for now, that's something that we have to do. So we're also going to be limiting toys and anything that can be put in mouth really in the childcare area. So I'm also going to be buying individual packaged snacks for any of the classes that are there. Miss Judy's bought a lot of that kind of stuff, but I'll make sure in the nursery even that we have prepackaged stuff to very limit things. I'll be doing that probably tomorrow as well. And I've took out probably 2/3 of the toys out of the nursery for when we do open the nursery up beyond the first week, maybe 3/4. And anything that is touched by a child, especially if it's put in a mouth, make sure that anything put in a mouth is set aside, wash your hands or whatever, and then move it away so that no other kid takes care of it. And we'll get anything that's done, we'll get a deep cleaning. So afterwards. So for the nursery, I would say put it on that table where the sink is. The 3s and 4s, I highly doubt this is going to happen, but I'll say also put it by the sink because there's a sink in that classroom, and then I will go through and I'll deep clean it afterwards if that's the case.
What about toys from home? Are they allowed to bring them from home?
No, I'm sorry. Okay. So anyway.
Just wanted to make sure.
That's a good question. Yeah, we don't want to do that right now. So, and also masks. An inconvenient thing, masks for ages 5 and up. So basically, K1-2 is going to have masks. And other areas they're not required to. And there's different things from the government. Of course, we do welcome, say that somebody's a 3-year-old and they want it, then they put them in the mask. If the parent insists on it, please try to keep the parent's wishes and ask them to keep it on. But we're not going to require masks for below 5 and up. And the reason for that is based upon Maryland recommendations. And so also that would mean that volunteers obviously have to wear masks because I would hope the volunteers are 5 and up, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then another big one, and this is going to be a change that's going to impact long term, but just an easier thing actually is we have KidCheck Express now, which that for those who've not, that I'm pretty sure you guys are all familiar with KidCheck. Heather, had you ever used KidCheck, or did you come after COVID stuff?
No, I think you guys, didn't you just start it this year, like in January or something?
We started about a year ago.
Okay, but it was January is when I started. I had signed on to it. Yes.
Okay, cool. So we normally use those computer systems, and that's obviously not a COVID safe thing to do. And so what we did is we got something called a print hub, and the print hub is like a wireless connection thing that connects to printers, and we have a printer connected there. Right by where the main KidCheck system is, the one that's right by the family board. So there's a printer and no computer. And how that works is you connect to that through your phone, through Express Check-in on your phone. You do not have to do that. We will keep the, I'm sure you're aware that there's a KidCheck system in the nurseries area, that foyer. we're going to keep that going. And if you're comfortable with it, but realize, you know, we cannot keep that constantly cleaned after every user like that. But we can tell you, you know, if you use the Express, there's no computer for people to be typing on for the Express system. And so with the KidCheck Express, I'm going to log on my phone to kind of show you guys. And hold on one second. So if you do you guys have the app for KidCheck at all?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. If you use the KidCheck Express, you will need to download the app on your phone, which is just in any app store. It is KidCheck. You know, it's just called KidCheck. And so I'm going to try to change my background so it doesn't cause any issues with this. Just one second. So one moment. It's harder to get rid of it. Okay. All right. So we have all right, so I'm in the KidCheck app. Right when you go into the KidCheck app, you should be able to see that it's kind of getting weird looking for the light, but let me try to turn off the light above me. Can you guys see that at all?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Okay, so all right, so if you'll be able to notice it more on your phones, but on the right off the bat, it starts you off at check-in. The main menu is check-in, and then there's an option called Express Check-in. If you click that, I'll turn off the other lights. So hold on, that's not helping. All right. So once you go to Express Check-in, there's a green button that says New Check-in, and then once you click that, it kind of walks you through just like one of the computer systems. And you have to have internet, of course, and you can do this at home. Actually, you don't have to. You can start this at home. So in the morning, I think that you have to do it the same calendar day, and so it just walks you through the whole process, and then you have to finalize your check-in. And once you finalize the check-in, it will take you to a screen where it allows you to print your KidCheck. Where it tells you can print the stickers, and it will only allow you to do that once you're in a proximity of the KidCheck of the printer system. And so. So basically, you can walk through the whole process except for the last step at home. But once you get to the church, pull the app back up, or you can do this all at the church. But you know, if that's the case, if everyone does it at the church, everyone would just kind of have to spread out in the fellowship hall area because the KidCheck printers are in the fellowship hall. And then once you've done that, you can just submit when it identifies a printer. It will tell you when it's identified a printer, and then it will immediately print out the stickers there. So I'm gonna pretend you can check in yourself as a volunteer. One thing to kind of be aware of is when you're in it, if you're trying to check yourself in as a volunteer, if you have kids, it's first going to show you My Children, and then you have to click Next in the top right to get to Select Worker. So I'm going to select myself as a worker, first and second grade, even though I'm not actually doing that today, obviously. And so it says, you can probably barely see it on the screen, but it says this, it says your KidCheck is in ready, but it's searching for the KidCheck kiosk. Once you're within like 100 feet of the KidCheck kiosks, the Express Check kiosk that are on that table by the family discipleship board, this will turn green. That gray will turn green, and then you click that, and immediately once you click it, it will print out your sticker for you. You can just grab it off of the printer. It seems complicated, but it's actually extremely simple once you've kind of worked your way through the app. It kind of walks you through it. Do you have any questions on the KidCheck touchless check-in?
I'll see you sometime this week, and you can fix it on my phone.
Yeah, and again, Grace, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. You can do the computer systems if you prefer, but you know, just obviously realize the safer option in a COVID world is definitively going to be the Express Check-in. Okay. And one advantage I will say of this is that we have the software now and the hardware, and so in the future, like this actually is much faster. A lot of churches primarily use this even before COVID. And so, you know, so basically it's almost like you have as many computers as you have phones. You're limited by the printer. So I mean, 8 people could be putting in their information at the same time, or 100 people, whatever. And if I had 3 or 4 printers, Mega Day Camp check-in is going to be like a breeze, one for people who know how to use it next year. That will be a nice benefit from this, but we got this for COVID, obviously. And then last, go ahead.
Can I do it ahead of time, but wouldn't be able to check in until the 13th, right?
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, technically, it will print out now, but, you know, it doesn't, you know, you can technically check your kid in any day of the week if you're by the church, and it will log it in the kid check system, but that doesn't really matter to us. That's just, you know, unnecessary.
Considering with me.
Yeah, so anyway, and then the last thing for like COVID requirements is that we have asked people to wash down all the toys and everything in the past, and that hasn't been done as much in the nurseries as we'd like, but we just really have to make sure that everything is washed down after the kids are in there. So, and how we do that's going to change a little bit. We've had this stuff that does kill COVID, it's been proven to, called Clorox Anywhere spray and Anywhere hard surface spray, and you can just spray that on stuff, and then that's all you have to do, and it will take care of it itself when you're done. So make sure every surface is sprayed. However, they are backlogged on that by a year, from what I understand, and we're getting close to being out of that. So I also ordered some typical multi-surface cleaner, some you know, non-bleach based. I'm not remembering what was the main chemical, but it's kind of your standard multi-purpose cleaner, multi-surface cleaner, and I looked it up and it does kill COVID. And for those, when you use those, you have to spray it and wipe it down with paper towels because it can ruin things, I guess, if it just sits on it. So hopefully you don't have to use that. Hopefully the Clorox Anywhere gets back in touch. But my heavy anticipation is by week 3 or 4, you'll have to spray and wipe down. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hey, Tony.
So, yeah.
This is I would not want to put extra work on you, but would it be possible to have a list of all the potential children that we have in our ministry that would be in any one class?
Yeah, I can get that together. So.
Yeah, I mean, it would be actually good for me. The others I'm not sure about, but yeah. I'm doing all the check-ins for people that are coming in, and yeah. I know before Sunday who has checked in and who hasn't, and so if I knew what families were involved in which classes, we would know real quickly, because I have the I have the check-in system on my phone already.
I can type something up.
It's just a convenient thing is all.
Yeah, I can type something up for you, Ali. Does it need to be this week, or could it be?
Oh my goodness, no. We're not starting until the 13th, and I don't even know if I'm on the 3rd. I don't even know if I'm on that day.
Yeah, I can type something up. So yeah. I typically do every year in the fall, so it's not that big of a difference. So anyway, so I mean, so we're gonna have to make sure that we're detailed in washing down. And again, with the 6 feet thing, to elaborate more on that, like I said, so you probably want to spread the kids out. You know, maybe put a chair on each one of the stickers. However, so long as you're aware that they're 6 feet apart, and the stickers on the tape on the floor will help you be aware of kind of where 6 feet marks are. Siblings, of course, again, siblings have no need to be 6 feet apart. That's entirely redundant. You know, they're sharing each other's germs already. And that might mean you're gonna have to project your voice if you're 3/4 teacher. So work on projecting your voice.
I have to what?
Project your voice a little bit.
Don't worry, that's not going to be necessary.
Anyway, so any questions about those COVID requirements before we kind of go on the last stage, which is curriculums? Okay.
Nope.
All right, so then for curriculums, because obviously we're picking up later than we would normally for Sunday school, and we cut off Sunday school and children's ministry altogether for 5 months formally. So we're going to kind of just continue where we left off in March. with the lessons. I emailed parents the Sunday school lessons, but what we do during the service is different from what we do for Sunday school. So we will have that set up. For that means there's basically a different one for each level. K-1-2 knows their curriculum really well. I mean, it's the same curriculum we've had for a long time, which is a Truth 78 or Children Desiring God curriculum. And so I will send more details about that out to the volunteers tomorrow. And I'll try to make copies of all of your lessons to send them out to you for the next 4 or 5 months so that you can kind of have those on you. And those will be set up in the room beforehand so you can just kind of come and teach that. For the 3s and 4s, we've been doing a lesson, some lessons from the Jesus Storybook Bible, and there's some kind of corresponding sheets for that.
I have it.
Wonderful. Great. So that's kind of what it's very simple. The lessons,
Okay.
I can send any volunteers kind of some images of what it is, but it is a very, very simple lesson that can be kind of picked up and go without any problem. Basically, like you read the story for 3s and 4s, and then you go through some questions and discussion things. They're very, very simple. And then you do a coloring page. And if you don't get time for the coloring page, it is what it is. You're welcome to, if you have an idea in a craft that you want to add to that is fantastic. But otherwise, they can just kind of have some fun and, and just kind of make sure that the lesson is kind of drilled in that through the Jesus Storybook Bible. And then for the nurseries, we have a 278 curriculum that's, very simple kind of repetition type thing for that as well. So again, literally, it's going to start off with one person having one child for that. So if that's done a little more informally, if the teachers decide they just, like to read a Jesus Storybook Bible chapter of them instead of a lesson at that age, especially because they get it every year, that's understandable until we kind of open up broader now. So
I have a question.
Go for it.
Okay, so when you're saying the kids are coloring or doing a craft, now are we dividing supplies like per kid? Like, Ellie
Yeah.
Ashby gets this pack of crayons every week.
That is something I frankly didn't think about. I will do that. I will sign craft supplies for each kid. So
Yes, I didn't know, like maybe you could just put them in a basket. Like here's a pair of scissors, here's a glue stick, and here's your
Like a
crayon.
little pencil pouch or something for
Yes.
each kid.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Kaylee?
Like a little pencil pouch or something for each kid. And like that's their craft supplies.
Oh, actually, those little baskets like Emily Ashby was talking about, and they're $1 in the dollar store.
Perfect.
You can get those, put a little name on them. That'll be easy.
Now, if anyone here or anyone that gets this video later does have some spare time in the next couple weeks, I wouldn't complain about a volunteer coming and helping setting that up. But otherwise, we can get that taken care of. So,
Well, I know like Walmart has like 24 crayons for like 50 cents or something.
yeah,
Like,
I can get the supplies, but yeah, even if somebody could put them together, but if not, I can gladly take care of that. But that's a great idea. We will definitely do that, and I just added that to the meeting notes. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
I would have one other question. Are we letting the kids out in the service like we have normally in the past?
Yes, that's a great question. Yes, that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
And so we're going to ask them to spread out 6 feet apart when they do it.
Good luck.
I mean, the parents are going to be watching. So, if we say
My
it
goodness.
and their parents are watching them go up front, it's kind of, to some degree, it's, anyway, but yeah, so just try, ask the kids to do it if they're and they need to wear their masks, especially when they need to wear their mask the whole time. But if they're wearing their mask to walk along there and they get a little less than 6 feet away when they're going to their classrooms, it's like 30 seconds, at one point, and they have their masks on. So I'm not too terribly worried about that, but we do want to try to ask the kids to do that. So, and I'll
Tony,
be
I
on.
had a couple questions.
Go ahead.
Emily asked one of them, which is good. One, you mentioned sending parents things for the email. Some of the things I need the kids brought home hard copies. I don't have access to a printer, so if there's a way I could get something ahead of time, that would be helpful if it's something I need.
Yeah, I can print some stuff out for you. Are you going to be at church next week? Okay, I'll print some stuff out for you, and I will.
Okay, that would be
get
great.
it.
And
Yeah.
my other thing wasn't really a question. You said if I had time to come up with a craft, I'm more apt to come up with a song for the kids.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay.
Well, given that I know your background is like a songwriter, so the
No, not songwriter.
artist nonetheless. So no, that's great. Something to go along with that is fantastic.
Songs.
What's up?
Do you need a CD player? Do you need a CD player to do that?
That would be great. Or we can
Okay.
do it a cappella.
You can ask Judy, Tony. We've got them in various places.
We have a CD player in that room. I'm almost positive. If not,
I believe we
Okay.
do.
if
Mhm.
not, I can move one in there. I have no doubt whatsoever.
Or we can buy one.
Yeah, it's not like those are expensive. So and then with other curriculum wise, so Sunday school, I am hoping and praying that we can have Sunday school sooner rather than later. And I don't know what that means. Sooner, maybe that means December, maybe that means March. I don't know. I'm hoping that it can come sooner rather than later. And so we will kind of start Sunday school with the beginning of the lessons for the year whenever we happen to come back to Sunday school. So, we'd kind of treat it as if it's September lessons whenever we happen to come back. Unless we happen to come back in like April, then we might do something special. I'm praying that, again, Sunday school can come back sooner rather than later, but as of now, there's no official plans for bringing Sunday school back.
One thing at a time.
Tony, I'm glad this
Yeah.
is happening because the church we left has not opened yet.
Anyway, so what other questions? Like, I really, the purpose of doing as a Zoom meeting is, don't feel bad about asking questions or making observations, or like what Emily, honestly, I feel bad. I didn't even think about that, Emily. But like, if you guys think of things I didn't think about to make kids safer, that's wonderful. Any thoughts?
One for you. One for you, Emily. One for you.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or questions or concerns?
Good job, Tony.
I do have a question.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry, but are you just throwing out all the Play-Doh in the rooms? Like, has that been done?
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it. I set it aside. So,
And then I guess maybe just like for the 3s and 4s have like in their bin of stuff, maybe like a little thing of Play-Doh if you think that's safe.
let me think on that one.
Okay.
Because that's a little bit, if somebody happens to get them mixed up, Play-Doh, it's probably fine. Let me think about it, but that's a good idea. So
I mean, if they're 6 feet apart, then they wouldn't be sharing Play-Doh.
yeah, that's a good idea. We could do that. So
Okay, perfect.
But is there a Play-Doh area 6 feet apart? Where would they be doing it?
So I'm not thinking that there will be a lot of 3 to 4-year-olds. So to keep them 6 feet apart at a table, I would think we would just put painter's tape down the line of the table and have like one kid on one side, one on the other.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think realistically, like I'm going to see what we can fit. And maybe even if we could have a couple small tables, in there. Like, so rather than having like one table for the sake of spread out so that they can kind of have that. But that's a good idea. So again, good job on you, Emily. So, but by the way, I do want to say before any other thoughts and ideas, we really, as much as I know we're going to be very limited on babies for a while, I really would love to get this filled up. And we still basically need 9 more volunteers to get this filled up in the way that it would cover for covering nursery in the way that we originally were hoping to do. So please, if you have a friend, that's on the edge, if somebody, I know cases where people told me that they're worried about getting their loved one sick, an elderly family member. And by no stretch, don't pressure anybody in those cases. But if somebody has no obstacle serving on their kid's soccer league, that please encourage them. Maybe this is a great time to serve the Lord in this capacity. Any other thoughts or questions or concerns? Well, this went a lot quicker than I thought it would, actually. So, All right, I will be sending out a video of all of we went through, and including Emily's great ideas, and including that Heather's idea on the music and everything. So you guys are all very helpful, and I will send that up to, once I get that edited through and everything. But thank you guys for joining us for the Zoom session, and I'm going to go ahead and close this in prayer. Father God, I come before you today and I thank you that we're able to launch up kids programs officially again. And I pray that you'd be with us as we do this, Lord. I pray that we'd be able to keep people safe, Father, and that we'd be able to engage kids for your gospel, Lord. I pray, Father, that you just really work in the hearts of all the volunteers, Lord, and just encourage them, Father, and just help them to be a tool for your kingdom glory, Father, that you might be able to impact through them these kiddos, Lord. And again, thank you for all those who have volunteered to give an hour, an hour and a half, 2 hours of their month every month to serve you in this way, Lord. And I ask this all in your son's holy and righteous name. Amen.